So, in summarizing what 2020 is going to bring to us for the NBA season and all of the hype surrounding the Milwaukee Bucks, is a little bit of the complete context of just how good the Milwaukee Bucks are and also what the NBA wants for its own commercial interest for the collective 32 owners of the league. And what they're doing is they're pitting all of the market segments all together, and they're maximizing their ratings in the NBA Finals with the biggest markets and the biggest high key superstar matchups. What are we talking about? Is bringing the viewers from the East Coast because LeBron James is no longer in a small market in Cleveland. People were watching the NBA Finals over these last few years between the Cavaliers and the Warriors because of LeBron James and then how great the Warriors were. So now you've got LeBron leaving. The Cavaliers are not going to get people to watch or anything or any other small market. Doesn't have a player of LeBron's caliber. And also, script is for LeBron to be more dominant than any other superstar out there. And Giannis really has not elevated the business side of basketball yet. And that really is put himself towards a market that can solidify his legacy. And NBA just don't want the Milwaukee Bucks to win the East right now because of how much viewers it can draw in from the Lakers on the West Coast and then all of the rival fan bases in the Eastern Conference. Because what's going to happen in the next few years is you've got the Brooklyn Nets with a healthy Kyrie Irving and Kevin Garnett are going to be a team that's going to win the NBA Finals. That's going to play in 2 NBA Finals with Kevin Durant, second overall pick in, 2007 draft. Kevin Durant, number 2 option on the Golden State Warriors. Is not the main guy on the Warriors. Kevin Durant, the guy who only won 2 rings on the Warriors. I was the only numerologist to predict that out there. I had a 3-year streak of calling the NBA champion. No other numerologist did so. Also, all of the people had the Warriors this year. I told them that, hey, the Warriors are not going to win it this year. That LeBron James was going to, end up being the 6th repeat in NBA history. And what happens? He's going to wear the number 6 the following season once he resolves his whole situation with Nike. I also explained the numerology of why LeBron is making a switch to number 6 during the year that the Lakers win the repeat. Here, it's all about featuring the Lakers against the East Coast fan bases, the Boston Celtics, in the marquee Celtics-Lakers rivalry that you have. So that part is going to happen in 21. Now, why can't it happen so soon? It's because, number one, they've got new players, far better options than what they've had last year. The growth of the Celtic players were hurting last year with Kyrie Irving, that he wasn't making guys better around him. And that's something that I think Kyrie Irving is going to do when he saw how much even Kevin Durant elevated aspects of the Golden State Warriors play, even during some of their close games during their championship run. So that is really what's happening with the Celtics. Is Kemba Walker is on a team with more talent out there. The Boston Celtics also added 7'6" Taco Fall. Going to be a big matchup against the Philadelphia 76ers when they face off in the Eastern Conference Finals. And then, of course, the Brooklyn Nets have to happen the following season. Next year, we're going to see the rivalry between Brooklyn and Boston back at it. So we've got Kyrie Irving up against his former team. They played each other this year, but they end up, what's happening with the Nets is their window this year, their peak, the most they can achieve this year is at best a second round appearance. The Brooklyn Nets are not going to make it to the Eastern Conference Finals, but they'll make it during the next couple of seasons. Just they're not there yet, but you have the Boston Celtics, more experience next year, back to playing the team style basketball that they played when Kyrie Irving got hurt and they advanced to the Eastern Conference Finals and almost beat LeBron James and beat them in 7 games. Number 2 seed Celtics in the number 4 Cavaliers and King LeBron Ramon James with the upset. Right? LeBron shocks everyone out there, including big fans like myself. So I had LeBron losing the past 3 NBA finals, and now I'm going to be going with him. Like, I'm just telling you what's happening with LeBron's career right now, and also what happened with the Warriors last year and the year before. So just understand that the dog astrology was why I was correct in that the Warriors are not going to win. It just happened to be a different team. And Kawhi Leonard, with that viewership in Canada, really explained it. That's why in my original projection, I showed that the NBA was rigged when they were going to feature the Toronto Raptors in the NBA Finals to bring in those fans. I had that part right. In my original projection, I had in the 2020 NBA Finals, and because he didn't win last year, and guess what? Kawhi Leonard's now with the LA Clippers, and people are going to think they're going to win the finals next year, but there's like zero chance that that's going to happen because it's obviously LeBron and the Lakers' time, and the Clippers still have to be little brother, and nobody else is supposed to beat LeBron James. He's supposed to be invincible like Michael Jordan, and that's what's going to happen is LeBron's going to win the championship in these next 3 seasons. Then he is going to retire, and it's going to feature Celtic fans watching the NBA Finals featuring the Brooklyn Nets in the 76ers when they played because the Celtics hate the 76ers. And then following year, the year after, you see that the Philadelphia 76ers fans rooting against the Boston Celtics because they would have dreams of winning the championship the following year and spoiling the repeat. But instead, the Boston Celtics would make it to the NBA Finals. The Celtics get their revenge for being the 76ers, and I correctly predicted that back in 2018. I predicted the Celtics to beat Philly. A lot of people had Philly making it to the NBA Finals that year, so that's what happened with Boston. That they're getting back to playing that team basketball like the Golden State Warriors are doing, and you're featuring the rivalries between the Celtics and the 76ers that I explained. You've got all these fan bases watching all their other rival teams in the NBA Finals. People out in the Midwest, out in the Central, in the Plains, okay? In the South, are obviously a high population of African Americans, the particular demographic that tends to watch basketball. Perfect. You bring in all the viewership for the NBA Finals during these next few seasons. And really, the Milwaukee Bucks are just like the 03 2010 Cavaliers. Their roster is not good enough to win. Joel Embiid and just Ben Simmons is something that you're going to market more about. It's these Zionist owners out there that run the NBA. I mean, they all operate through the system of Kabbalah, and they script this stuff out all throughout the years, and they're very subliminal in their messages because Shaquille O'Neal was born at Brooklyn. He was born at Newark, New Jersey. Shaquille O'Neal won the three-peat against the Lakers against the New Jersey Nets. So he won that scripted three-peat against the team that's from his place of birth. And that's where we're getting the Brooklyn Nets in the Los Angeles Lakers, in LeBron getting revenge against Kevin Durant to beat him in 6 games to go ahead in the tie Michael Jordan and to retire being undefeated in the postseason. The Milwaukee Bucks are not going to be good enough. They don't have a good point guard out there that can outplay Ben Simmons. Eric Bledsoe is overrated and whatnot. They have a European player that left the team and whatnot. Brook Lopez is just not as consistent out there. I would take Al Horford over Robin Lopez. Al Horford has been more consistent in the NBA than Robin Lopez. Al Horford is similar to Chris Middleton. Like, obviously, the Milwaukee Bucks are a great team, because I predicted the Milwaukee Bucks. I predicted that their ceiling was making it to the Eastern Conference Finals. So the Milwaukee Bucks roster just not good enough to make it. And they'll make it seem like that's the case so it doesn't seem like it's rigged. So that's the tricky part with that. Is that the Milwaukee Bucks don't have a good roster, and the Philadelphia 76ers are more marketable with the big market. But not only is that the case, but there's a subliminal message with Kobe Bryant, number 24. The reason why I wore number 24 is because the league is scripted in advance, and that means that LeBron's going to tie Michael Jordan 24 years later after he won his sixth title. Michael Jordan won his sixth title for his 24th career victory in the NBA Finals, 6 for 6, and 4 NBA Finals wins gives you 24. That's what's happening with LeBron James and Los Angeles Lakers. They are going to be your NBA champion during these next few years by numerology. And that is absolutely going to be the case against all three big markets in the Eastern Conference. Giannis Antetokounmpo needs to leave Milwaukee if he wants to win a championship. Because before the Bucks even sniff the NBA Finals, Benjamin David Simmons max contract is going to be getting his money's worth from the owner of the Philadelphia 76ers. He's going to be in the NBA Finals. He is going to break out. He's going to have a huge year. He's going to beast it up with Joel Embiid, Al Horford. He's going to make the 76ers one of the best defensive teams in basketball right now. Joel Embiid is a candidate for MVP this year. 76ers roster overall with Tobias Harris, whatnot, and company are a much better roster than the Milwaukee Bucks. This Bucks roster is just like the 03-10 Cavaliers. LeBron is King James. Like, he's the only guy that can single-handedly carry such a poor team to the NBA championship. The Bulls won 55 games without Michael Jordan, and the Cavaliers only won 19 games both years without LeBron James. And that's why LeBron's going to three-peat for his 19th championship for the Los Angeles Lakers organization. And really, that is how great LeBron James is he can carry a team with that little talent, carry a fourth seed Cavaliers team to the NBA Finals. He's had much more underdogs than Michael Jordan. Giannis has bad luck, but he just doesn't have that explosive point guard play like LeBron James. Although he's a great athlete and whatnot, he's an MVP caliber player. He is a top 3 player. I had him beasted it up against the Boston Celtics and the Detroit Pistons, but Giannis just not. He can't carry a team all by himself. No player in the league can carry a team all by himself, except if it's LeBron James against the Hall of Fame San Antonio Spurs with Drew Gooden and Ilgauskas or whatnot. Or just some of their point guards too, like Gibson and whatnot. It was. I mean, just really mediocre players that didn't last long in the NBA. LeBron was carrying those players and seeing them score against the Detroit Pistons like that. So Giannis is just, he has a bad team surrounded by him. The NBA does not want the Milwaukee Bucks to win. So Giannis needs to demand a trade, and he needs to leave and go to somewhere that can solidify his legacy, because the NBA really loves their ratings and their big markets. And if you know how the NBA is run, then that's exactly what's going to be the case. And you hype up these rivalries. What draws the fan interest in the NBA is the fan interest of the rivalries, and that's the drama of 76ers against the Nets. That's why we saw Philly against Brooklyn last year, because one team's going to win the East, one team's going to have Kevin Durant and replace them the following year. They end up playing in the playoffs, and they're going to be competing for seeding position and whatnot. So NBA is really going to be all about those East Coast teams in the next few years and whatnot. And after LeBron wins with the Lakers, and it's going to be Kawhi Leonard and whatnot, and ruling the West. And then the Brooklyn Nets going to win the championship the year after LeBron retires, and then the year after that, Kawhi Leonard's going to win a championship for 3 different teams for 3 rings total. The guy's going to solidify his legacy and whatnot. I mean, just the NBA is just all of that. It's just really easy to read and whatnot. And that's what I've done with NBA over these last 4 years, as I've shown with what has happened with the Warriors going to win the 3-peat and predicting the NBA Finals matchups for the 3 prior years. So next year, all these matchups, all these next few years, all these matchups are going to happen. Giannis is a top 3 player in basketball. He could be better than Kevin Durant. I don't know about that. He would be three, in my opinion, but he just has bad luck of playing with a mediocre team. And NBA does not want any, small markets in there. And that's why they put Canada in there. And just understand that it's a business, but I get it. There can be some comments here that are going to, attack the person or whatnot instead of, making an argument to why things are going to happen differently. And you can't demonstrate that because I've shown just how rigged the NBA is. And go enjoy that Dodgers over Yankees 2019 scripted World Series.